The most expensive firewall money can buy can be beaten by a friendly phone call. 16 lessons of encryption, access controls, network defenses, all of it, undone by one helpful person holding a door open for a stranger. So here's the uncomfortable question. If your technology is that strong, why do attackers keep winning? Because they stopped attacking the technology. They attacked the people. And that is exactly what this final core lesson is about. In the next few minutes, you will learn the security policies the exam expects you to name on site, the training that turns your staff from the weakest link into a first line of defense, and why a human is the softest target in any organization. This is Objective 5.3 and 5.4, and it is the last stop before the reviews. Let me make it concrete before I define anything. An attacker rings the help desk. He sounds panicked, claims to be a senior manager, locked out minutes before a big meeting, and asks for a quick password reset. No malware, no exploit, just confidence and a good story. That is social engineering. And it works because it targets a helpful person, not a hardened server. Here is the part people get wrong. They think security is purely a technology problem. It is not. You can patch a server, but you cannot patch a person. Remember that line, because it is the whole reason this part of the domain exists. The human is the weakest link in security, and the exam states it exactly that plainly. So attackers aim at people, because people can be persuaded, and no firewall stops persuasion. Therefore, if you cannot patch a person, you train one. That is security awareness training. The most common form is the phishing simulation. Your own security team sends fake phishing emails to your own staff. Click one, and instead of losing real data, you land on a short training page. Nobody is punished. People learn where they slipped, safely, before a real attacker finds the same gap. Alongside it sits broader social engineering awareness, teaching staff to spot the panicked phone call, the stranger tailgating through a locked door, and the offer that is too good to be true. If this feels less technical than the last few lessons, that is the point. This is the human layer, and it is meant to be common sense made into habit. Quick recap. The human is the weakest link, and training led by phishing simulations is how you strengthen it. Now cast your mind back to Lesson 5, the governance hierarchy. Remember, a policy is high-level, mandatory intent, set by management. Well, this is where those policies get specific names, and the exam wants you to match each one to what it governs. There are 6 to know. Let me give you each in a single line. First, the Acceptable Use Policy, the AUP. It defines what you may and may not do with company systems. No dodgy websites, no installing random software. It is the rulebook every new hire signs. Second, the BYOD policy. Bring your own device. It sets the rules when staff use their own phones and laptops for work, and what security those personal devices must have first. Third, the password policy. Minimum length, complexity, how often you change a password, and whether you can reuse an old one. Fourth, the data handling policy. How information is classified, stored, shared, and destroyed, so sensitive data is treated according to its label. Fifth, the privacy policy. How the organization collects, uses, and protects personal data, both customers and staff. Sixth, the change management policy. No change to a live system without being requested, reviewed, tested, and approved first. It stops one rushed edit from taking the whole business down. 6 policies: acceptable use, BYOD, password, data handling, privacy, and change management. Time for a quick exam check. A new employee is given a document listing which websites they may visit on the company laptop, banning personal downloads, and setting out penalties for misuse. Which policy is this? A. Bring your own device policy. B. Acceptable use policy. C. Password policy. D. Privacy policy. Pause the video and pick your answer. Ready? The answer is B. Acceptable use policy. Here's why. The acceptable use policy defines what staff may and may not do with company equipment, which is exactly this document. Bring your own devices out, because these are company laptops, not personal ones. Password policy is out, because nothing here is about credentials. And a privacy policy covers how personal data is handled, not how you may use the kit. See the words acceptable use, or rules for company systems. One quick throwback. to weld this to domain 1. From lesson 5, is a security policy mandatory or optional? Say it out loud. Mandatory. Only a guideline is optional. A policy is intent you must follow, which is why breaking your acceptable use policy can get you disciplined. Let me pull it all together exam checklist style. The human is the weakest link because you cannot patch a person. Security awareness training, led by phishing simulations, is how you strengthen that link. And 6 policies do the governing. Acceptable use, BYOD, password, data handling, privacy, and change management. Remember the friendly phone call we opened with? The one that beats the firewall? Now you know why it works and the training that stops it. That is the human side of security, done. If this made the people problem click, subscribe, because you have just finished all 5 domains of the core course. And to drill these policy questions until they are reflexes, head to certcrush.app, where the CC question bank has a stack of them waiting. So, what is next? No new content, just points. From here, we move into the domain reviews, mixing every confusable concept from all 5 domains, and then the practice exam capstone, a full mock walkthrough that gets you exam ready. That is where watching turns into passing.